What is going on, y'all? It's Top Hat Slime. You know, I'm just gonna start off right off the bat. It's not gonna make you a pro. It's not gonna make you some town god, but I think it can help a lot of players out, even just a little bit. Unless you're maybe some god, maybe you're the next coming of cats and capes or something. But the first tip is probably gonna be the most important. And essentially, all it is called centering. And centering is when you point your crosshair at where your opponent is most likely gonna be. So let's say yellow house. We're entering yellow house. Our opponent is most like, there's a lot of places really, but our first spot would probably be to center on the doorway. Then you probably center over here, maybe to the side. There's a lot of places, but essentially as you're pushing the base, you're just gonna kind of have your crosshair pointed to where you think the enemy is gonna be. I'm not gonna jump just so I can kind of have a better demonstration for you guys, because I know most of you guys aren't sweating or like me and kind of jumping around. But you're just kind of aiming at wherever you think your opponent's gonna be as you kind of run through the base. Just kind of gradually looking around. I mean, and it can kind of apply, or it really applies anywhere on the map. I mean, even if you're kind of running through the open, I would jump, but just again, so I can show you guys, you're kind of just aiming your crosshair at wherever you think people might most likely be. It's going to be a lot harder to do it in the open just because of how many places people can be. And again, I'll run it back in the greenhouse if you guys just want to see that. I'll jump a little bit just so I can kind of give you how I do it as a tryhard, you know. And it's going to tie really well with the next tip, but again, you're just kind of centering. You don't have to check and run into every individual room, but you're just kind of like centering your crosshair at where each location that, you know, the enemy might be in. And again, there's going to be a lot, so you're not always going to be able to center exactly where your opponent is going to be, but it's going to be a lot better to keep your crosshair straight ahead to where your target is going to be. And you're going to want to aim your crosshair at about head level. You don't want to be looking down kind of like this. You don't want to be looking all the way up. You're going to kind of want to keep it at around head to torso level, just kind of like this. And it's going to be a little bit hard at first, you know, because you kind of, there's so many spots where your enemies can be. And I'm not going to milk it too much more. I'm going to move on to the next tip, and it's going to tie directly in, and it's called, I just call it clearing. It's not really complex, and it ties exactly in with centering. And it's when you go in a room, don't stay tunnel visioned on maybe one location. So maybe if you saw a guy up there and he kind of walked to the side, you think he's probably in this room, don't tunnel vision your my bad, homie. But you're not going to want to tunnel vision your focus on just the staircase. You're still going to want to kind of center and look and kind of clear the room. You're still going to want to look around at the area as you're pushing up. So you're kind of still looking to the side. You're still looking over here. Even if you think he's in this room, even if everything points to, or all the evidence points that he's probably in this room, you're still going to want to kind of center your crosshair and clear the area around you, even as you're pushing up. Because in town, you don't have much time to react, and if you're getting shot in the, let's say we're focused on our attention on this room, and he's actually in this room. If he shoots us in the back, and especially if we don't have armor on, we're gonna have very little time for us to do a whole 360, shoot, and do all that. There's not much time to react. So you just want to kind of clear the room if you can first, and it's just gonna help a lot with your awareness and just kind of making sure the area around you is safe and you won't instantly die there. And then this is going to be the last tip. This last tip isn't as important, but I see a lot of people that have really, really high sensitivities. Personally, I'm rocking a very low sense. I'm rocking 0.06. I know a lot of you guys, this isn't going to be good for a lot of you guys. Just going to be honest. It takes me a really long time to do a 360. I think it's about like a foot-ish on my mouse pad. My mouse went all the way out of the camera just because it's that far. But I don't recommend you guys rock 0.06, but if you can, I recommend lowering your sense, because it just helps with being a little more accurate, being a little more precise with your movements. It's town, so you don't have to be that precise, but it does help a little bit with hitting your shots. If you find that your aim is really, really inconsistent, you're like, why didn't I kill that guy? Maybe try changing your sensitivity just a little bit, or even maybe changing your ADS sensitivity. You can turn that down. I don't recommend going down below like maybe 0.85, maybe 0.75 if you're rocking a really, really high sense. I keep mine on 1 personally because my sensitivity is already really low. But I recommend you guys lower it if you guys are just kind of struggling. Personally, I think even the base sense right here, the lowest regular sense, like 0.36, I even feel like this is really, really high. Maybe you could turn it down 0.3 or even lower, maybe like 0.1 if you guys can handle that on your mouse pad. Even this is still pretty high. Maybe turn down the ADS sensitivity so it slows down a little bit once you're in your sights. But I recommend just kind of finding a comfortable sensitivity for you. Maybe mess around, play the game a little bit. Again, sensitivity isn't everything, so you're not gonna lose. You don't want to attribute all your losses just to say, my sensitivity was messed up, man. It's not always gonna be your sense, but if you can change it, if you have a big enough mouse pad, I do recommend giving it a try. Hopefully these tips helped you out. Again, the main one you guys are wanting to listen to is centering, keeping your crosshair straight ahead and focusing on the areas where your opponent might be next. Yeah, so I'll see y'all in the next one. Hopefully this helped y'all out, and see y'all later. Stay gooey.